Hi, hi, hi. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Susan Smandi. Thank you so much for joining me at Sacred Connections. I truly appreciate you and you being part of my journey. Thank you so much. So I am so excited because today we are going to be talking about raising vibrations. What is that and how do we do that? So obviously, I was writing this morning, and that's the message that came through, that everything is vibration. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that because you probably know that. Everything is vibration, everything is frequency, and we are here to manage our own frequency. So how do we do that? That's the big question, and people probably want to know how to do that, and the way to do that is by observing. That is pretty simple and easy to do. Just observe, be objective. If you are objective, then you're able to receive information. If you are subjective and you are all emotional, then you can't see clearly. And I want to play with that for a little bit. There is this exercise that we can do, but I'm not very prepared today. There's a really cool exercise that you can do with kids to explain to them how consciousness works and how it's better to calm down before you react to something. So when you're triggered, it's good to take a breath, a pause, gather yourself, and then respond from an objective place. It has to do with glitter. I really like glitter. So, okay, let's start with a little bit of sound healing since we're talking about vibrations. So it is very good practice to connect to your breath when you're connecting with sound. The sound current is how we can channel energy, healing energy, and how we can connect to source. There are certain ways to raise your vibration, sound being one of them, connecting with your breath being another. Some people believe that you can raise your vibration or actually clear negative energy by taking a warm bath with Epsom salt and some baking soda. I'm not really a bath person, so I can't tell you that's what I've done and that's what I do. I am a shower person because that's who I am. And I enjoy a shower more than I enjoy a bath. But that's me, and you can be different, and that's okay. So a good way to do negative or, I don't know, clear energy from your system is actually to work on your breath, do breath work. That is the most simplest form to do this. And what you want to do is you want to release anything that does not serve you. It is that simple. You have all the power within you. It's called intention. What is your intention and where is your focus? Because that is where your power comes from. It is the focus and the intention. And that comes from your solar plexus area. So I think we talked about that last week, and we're probably going to continue talking about that this week. I'm going to read a little bit about what the guides wanted us to know today. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. We created this duality that we are experiencing because we wanted to expand. And the biggest way to expand and the fastest way to expand is through duality. And as we ascend, we are coming to the conclusion that all is one, right? So the duality, there's contrast, but in actuality, the duality is one. It's just a way to contrast and choose between each. So that's another reason why we created duality, so we could know how to choose. Because what are you going to choose if there is no duality, if there's nothing to choose from? Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why we created duality, in order to experience expansion. It all goes back to expansion. And the biggest way and the fastest way that we can expand is through inquiry and through exploration, through discovery. So connecting to your inner child or to the child within is really, really important, because that's where we're manifesting from. We're manifesting from the state of wonder. We manifest from a state of feeling, the feeling state. That is what gives the power, that oomph, if you will, to create what you want to create in this life. So we're creating from wonder, and we're creating from a feeling state. And that is why we have to talk about the vibration, because what we want to do is we want to focus in on the vibration that we're feeling, and that way we can actually start to be able to manage our own frequency, because we are frequency. So this is what the message was from Oneness. They wanted to talk about the fact that we don't have wounds. Our ego, the separation, is what creates that wound. But in actuality, our soul self and our higher self is completely perfect as is, because it just is. It has no wounding. It has to just, we can say the soul has to purify, but what it's actually purifying is the distortion that there is a wound, because there is no wound. Okay. Sorry about that. So they wanted to say the wounds that you seek to heal are part of how you wish to express and play within your creation. And then they go on, we are observing how to manage frequency. We are observing how to manipulate energy, as we often express through this created schema or structure. Some who may not see manipulate objectively might perceive the negative meaning which has been attached to this form. From our perspective, all is in a natural state, which does not mean uncaring, but rather it is objective. We do not attach emotion or feeling to created words, we just observe. We work through sound and vibration. These are the frequencies that we are seeking to expand now. So then at that point, I paused for a second because I needed to sort of process what I wrote down. And I remembered Emily, if you're watching, hello. So a shout out to you. Emily asked, how can we raise our vibration? So that's what I presented to our guides. So how can we raise our vibration? Play, wonder, explore, activate, and feel the curiosity of the child within. Experiment with discovery. Start to inquire within you and seek to shine the light to the darkness that you perceive. When you seek to raise vibration, the focus is always on the feeling state. Where is your focus? Are you focusing on the things that make you feel good, or on the opposite, within the duality structure. That duality structure has been helpful in the pursuit of frequency expansion. So that's all I'm going to share about that. And I invite you to pay attention to where your focus is and feel what you're feeling. Feel if it feels good, and if it doesn't feel good, wonder why. Wonder where that's coming from, and wonder how you can solve that. Because in actuality and divine truth, you have the answers within you. You do. We all have the answers within us because we are that source. We are not separate from source, right? We all have the answers within. So I invite you to explore that and to ask, where is my focus? How do I feel? Why do I feel this way? Could I feel better? How can I feel better? These are the questions that would allow you to have this discovery, self-discovery and self-exploration from within. So we are going to pull a card and see what happens. Again, from the Earth Warriors Oracle, from Elena Fairchild. And what we want to know is what is in our best and highest at this time. I don't know about you, but I had interesting dreams last night, which had a lot of darkness, but it allowed me to observe, to be that observer, and to see that we have all been the darkest of dark and the lightest of light. We have played with all emotions and all feeling states and all thought forms. And we are creating from those. So what we got here today is the butterfly for transformation. The Palhik Mana, medicine of butterfly, Kachina. So that's it. That's what we got today. And it is a 6 card, which is about love. The 6 is just pregnant with love. The number 6, the vibration of the 6, is pregnant with love and just wants to nurture and give out that love. Because when you're overflowing with love, all you can do is share it with others. Okay. On wings of hope, Butterfly Kachina guides you through an ending to the light of new life within. It is your transition into a happier time of increased pleasure and delight, especially if you have experienced great struggle or loss. The spirit medicine of butterfly brings hopeful promise to your heart. Here is your sign that there will be happiness, peace, and light. Trust in the goodness being birthed. So I think that's really interesting because even yesterday I felt like there was some magic being birthed at this time. And last week we talked about like clearing and focusing on where your focus is and bringing awareness to that. And you cannot do any of this energetic work without being aware and without being open to the play that is within all. Our soul, I truly believe, is our heart, and it is connected to our heart, and it is through our heart that we actually create. It is through that passion from our heart center that we're creating our reality. The heart has intelligence on its own. It does not need the brain. It has its own intelligence. And there are studies about this, which I invite you to explore. You can Google it, right? So the beauty of working from a heart space is that you are connected to the soul within. And that soul within is actually a unified one with all. So it is through our heart that we're connecting with each other. I'm connecting with you now through my heart, as you are connecting with me through your heart. And it is through this sacred connection that we transmit and receive the information and the light that we both are sharing, the love that we're both sharing. And love is not conditional. Love is just pure. It really is. It's innocent and it's pure because it wants nothing. It needs nothing. The only thing that love is or wishes to do is to expand. That's it. Because when you're creating something, for example, when you're writing something, you're expanding. You are grounding information and you are expanding in that manner. When you are painting on a canvas, you are creating something from your heart space. It is through the heart that we create. It is through our heart that we can produce anything. Children are produced through that. Any kind of creation is produced through the heart. It is through love that we create our reality. It is through the feeling state that we create our reality. It is through emotions that we are here to learn how to manage our frequency, and so we can create from a pure, unconditionally loving place. So if you think that love is something distorted, I invite you to explore that, because there's something for you to learn from that and integrate in order to go back to the pureness that love is. So, the book, we're going back to the book. An apparently lost cause or shattered dream was a necessary part of your transformational journey. What was sacrificed can be reborn into something even more beautiful. You are not meant to turn to the past, as it cannot support you in the way it once did. Trust that you have the inner resources to handle what is happening within you and in your life. You are moving towards a significant psychological, emotional, and perhaps also physical breakthrough and transformation. You may have an inner sense of discomfort signaling that something new is unfolding within. It is natural to initially feel a little awkward or uncertain in the face of the unfamiliar. Gosh, I know that feeling. This is a good sign of change stirring from within. Allow nature to take its course. Trust in what is happening, even whilst you don't fully understand it. It will turn out beautifully in the end, which will also happen to be a new beginning. Yes, because it's all about the transformation from within, and then that can be realized out, right? We're projecting our within out. There's just so much that we can talk about in just that one little sentence. Okay, but I'm going to keep going. There are moments when even those of us with great courage feel tested beyond our faith. Doubts, darkness, and despair can creep into our minds and lash our hearts with fear. Perhaps there seems to be a good reason for our pain. The loss of a loved one, a cherished hope dashed, disturbing human behavior, the statue of the environment or some other unexpected and painful shock. There may be no particular reason for it, and yet we are somehow gripped by feelings of anxiety and despair. that we cannot resolve no matter how hard we try. The healing soul medicine of the butterfly Kachina comes to you now to alleviate your suffering, to remind you that everything you have gone through has been part of what has made you strong, compassionate, and wise. When all seems lost, perhaps especially then, our soul needs the gift of seeing the light, love, and wisdom of Great Spirit at work behind all things at all times, always reaching out to us and always offering love. The soul needs faith and hope, like the body needs air to breathe. Faith keeps the soul alive and well. You do not have to regret anything that has happened. You do not have to judge yourself or any other, or wish that things have been different. You have not missed out. You have not messed up. You have been learning and you have been growing. What is required from you now is willingness to let it fall away, because the person you once were actually no longer exists. You may not fully realize it yet, like the butterfly trying to crawl on the ground like a caterpillar. You may mourn the loss of your old caterpillar ways. Yet, if you take a moment to witness yourself anew now, you'll realize you are not that person from 2 years or even 10 years ago. You can then open to the gifts that the butterfly Kachina is bringing to you now. Well-being, new life, vibrancy, freedom, and happiness. If you have been working hard on an issue, on yourself, or on a cause in the world, and it seems to be going nowhere, Butterfly Kachina reminds you that in the divine alchemy of transformation, things sometimes appear to be going backwards as they move forwards. So I just want to take a moment here, because that talks about momentum, and that's one of the greatest gifts that we have. It is the momentum, because that is the movement of our expansion. It is the way of things. After summer, there is autumn and then winter, all of which indicate progress towards the next spring. If you didn't understand the creative purpose and regenerative nature of the seasons, you might be frightened by the winter, concerned that it signified the world was ending. With knowledge of the sacred feminine wisdom of the seasons, you are not afraid of winter. You see it as an essential part of life. You may even learn to nurture and restore yourself during that time, gaining conscious benefit and appreciation for it. If you feel you are in a spiritual or emotional winter in your life, have hope, trust, and have faith. The soul unfolds according to seasons, just as nature does. Let your heart and mind rest in trust that life is growing your soul into its beautiful fulfillment. So I would say that the soul is already whole, and that the soul is already one with all that is, and it is just expanding. The soul seeks to expand. The heart seeks to expand. And that's what alchemy is all about. You take two separate entities, or perceived separate entities, and you combine them into one new creative thing, or person, or consciousness. One new consciousness, one new beautiful gem, because that's who we are. We are all gems, and we're all shining our light. As we share that with others, others do the same in return, and that creates the ripple effect. Okay, I'm just gonna read the healing process because I just love these cards. Thank you so much for creating them, Elena or Alana. I really want to know how to pronounce your name. Anyway, butterfly takes us out of seriousness and into childlike joy. Is there something that you used to love to do as a child? Is there some activity that makes you feel healthily childlike? Perhaps laughing at funny animal videos or going for a walk in nature? Coloring in or pulling a hula hoop out of the back of the wardrobe. I love hula hooping. Playing drums on the pots and pans, singing and dancing in your lounge room. Take some time to be with your inner child self and be engaged completely in the present moment. When you are ready, say this prayer out loud. I always like to put my hand over my heart because it connects me to that place which I want my attention to go into. So, I give thanks for the sacred soul medicine of the butterfly Kachina, to the ever-renewing power of life. I honor all that I have been through, for it has brought me to this moment. Now I am strong, wise, compassionate, and empowered. I accept life and I am ready for the rebirth that is happening now in my own soul and in the world. May divine love support successful transitions for our world. May all beings move into love, freedom, peace, and happiness. I embrace this moment, and so it is. And that's the completed healing journey for that. It always has the best messages, I swear. So take that in. Breathe that in. Breathe in the colors within the mandala. Breathe in the colors within the butterfly. You are that. You are that special. And you are transforming. You're in the middle of your transformation. And it is a beautiful cycle. Trust that. We're all transforming into this beautiful masterpiece. We are always in a constant state of flow. We are always in a constant state of transformation because we are always expanding as we are souls incarnate, right? So our soul is one. When you go deep into it, it is all going to combine to the source that is all. We're just expressing in different ways. We are playing with our expressions and we are in a state of wonder while we create. And that is the message that our guides wanted to bring to our self-mastery journey today. This was really, really fun. And I thank you for being here. And I thank you for joining me. And I thank you for taking this journey with me. And I want to leave you with all of my love. And I'm transmitting to you my joy. And I will end with one sound vibration. Thank you so much for being here. All my love to you. Bye.